If you're a service member and you're looking to leverage your VA home loan, you came to the right place. I'm a combat veteran and I'm also a realtor, and I want to give you some insider secrets. So if you stay to the end of the video, I used my VA home loan 2 months ago, and I want to give you the insider secret on how I bought a brand new construction home, $0 down, $0 closing costs. And I'm gonna give you every secret that I did at the end of the video. But this video specifically is gonna go over what the VA home loan is and how you can use it in purchasing a residential home here in the United States. So here we go. I'm gonna go over some specific terms and specific things within the VA process itself from start to finish. So if you don't understand something, go back to my channel. I'm gonna start a series from start to finish on the very first moment all the way through closing, what you need to know about the VA home loan in depth. They're gonna be 2 to 3 minute long videos for specific segments. So if you don't know what earnest money is, or you don't know what the VA funding fee is, and you get confused by this video, don't worry, there's 2 options. Check out the YouTube channel and find that video explaining it, or text me at 478-333-8318 and I'd love to be able to tell you. Also, drop a comment below and I'll get right back to you. So to start things off, what is the VA? The Veteran Department of Affairs. And the VA home loan is gonna give you or your spouse the ability for some really, really cool things when it comes to buying a house. And the people that are eligible for this are active duty members, veterans, or spouses that are surviving members from the military. And there's a bunch of different benefits like no down payment option, lower interest rates, no prepayment penalties, possibility of no PMI, super easy eligibility criteria. And there are some flexible guidelines, so stay tuned for those. So first of all, you need what's called a COE, a certificate of eligibility, to make sure that you can use a VA home loan. And this is the very first step. You have to go to the VA, link in the description to be able to get that process started, to make sure you get that document, that COE document, because if you don't have that, you can't start the process. And for you to qualify, there's 2 things for a veteran. You served 181 days of peacetime or 90 days overseas in a combat zone. In quote, it says wartime, but if you're in a combat zone, same thing, 90 days, check off the box, we're off to the races. Also, let's say you weren't active duty. Let's say you're a reservist, or maybe you're in the National Guard. However, if you're in the National Guard with basic training, everything that you're gonna go through, probably you're gonna rack up those 181 days pretty quick. So this section is specifically for reservists. You need 6 years. So if you're active reserves or you're retired out of the reserves, you need at least 6 years to be able to get that COE. But if you're a surviving spouse or family member of that veteran, there's a few things that you need to know in order to see if you qualify. And there's actually 4 things. Were they missing in action? Were they a prisoner of war, or are they currently? Were they killed in action, or did they pass away due to a service-connected disability? If so, you will be able to qualify for that VA home loan. And again, there's really 4 ways for you to be able to get the VA home loan. You can mail it in, you can apply online yourself, you can call a phone number, but really the easiest way to do it, don't give me any backlash, lenders, I'm sorry, go through your lender. They're gonna be able to complete the steps for you and be able to get that COE in the first place as you start the process. So really, the first step is to get in contact with a lender and then see if you qualify, get the COE, and start the process from there. If you start looking at homes, especially in today's current market, where there's not a whole lot of homes for sale, you don't wanna give yourself some heartbreak, okay? You wanna make sure that you're properly prepared for this thing you're about to do, this crazy huge thing called home ownership. Maybe you already own a home, so you already know what I'm talking about. But if you're a first-time home buyer using your VA home loan, pump the brakes, okay? Because if I could go back in time, I know I bought my first house 2 months ago and I wouldn't give this thing up for the world. But if I was single and I wasn't married, this is exactly what I would do. I would have taken my time, I would have pumped the brakes, and I would have leveraged this thing for the maximum cash flow potential. I would have found a quadplex, okay? Like mini apartment that has 4 rooms. I would have lived in 1 room and I would have rented out the other 3 units to tenants. They would have paid my mortgage and gave me the ability to be cash flow positive. So I could have leveraged no money down, $0 out of my pocket, and get more money every single month and not have to pay rent. So if you don't have a trusted real estate agent in your back pocket and you'd like to use me, please text me at 478-333-8318. I'd love to be able to help serve you and your family. And maybe you're not in the Middle Georgia area. Still send me a text and I'll make sure I get you in contact with the #1 person in that area so we can make sure that you leverage this opportunity, your VA home loan, for the maximum amount of cash flow or the best decision financially for you and your family. So how does the VA home loan work here real quick? So the Department of Veterans Affairs, what they actually do is they back the home loan. So say for example, you buy a house and you don't make a payment, you better make your payments. You better make your payments. You better make your payments. Don't ruin your credit score. Don't go down that route, okay? Please promise me, pay your payments on time. But if for some reason somebody else, because I know you're not gonna not pay your payments, say somebody else didn't pay their payments, the VA is gonna cover those back payments, which gives the lender the ability to get you a home loan, usually for more than what you can afford, okay? Don't buy more than what you can afford because you gotta pay your payments. And it gives you the ability to get less interest rate than what a typical conventional home loan can do in your current market. So there are so many benefits when it comes to the VA home loan, so let's dive deep and see if you actually qualify to use it. And I don't mean the COE, I mean money, credit score, that stuff. You know what, for me to clarify real quick, I think early in the video I said for reservists 6 years, you gotta add that on for the National Guard as well, unless you're active duty transitioned into the National Guard. If you're confused about that, again, get in contact with a local lender, explain to them the situation, you'll fill out the COE and get your document that you need. But let's talk about credit score real quick. As of right now, you gotta be at least a 620. If you're below a 620, don't worry, don't freak out. Still, your trusted loan partner in your area, lender, loan partner, loan officer, mortgage broker, bunch of different terms for somebody that services a loan for you. Even your local bank most likely has a mortgage department. Sit down with them, explain your situation, they'll go over your finances and come up with a plan to make sure that you can leverage your VA home loan and get your credit score to where you need. And really, to start things off, a lot of people have the question, how much money can I actually use, or how much loan can I actually use towards my house? Because guess what? I'm an officer and I make 03 pay and I want a $750,000 house. Let's see how much you can do. But guess what? You actually can, because most areas, the limit is gonna hit you in 2023 at $726,000 and some change. However, depending on where you live, let's say you're in Miami, let's say you're in a high-end part of California, New York City, there's actually parts of the country that you can get a little over $1 million on a VA home loan. Blows my mind how much money they're willing to rent out or give out to people for a loan that could possibly be $0 down, but guess what? That's the max. But let's run through the buying process here real quick. And if you want more information on the home buying process, back before I had this awesome house with a YouTube setup, it used to be in my apartment, okay? And my background's not too good, so don't judge me. But I have this thing called a buyer series from start to finish, how to buy a house using a realtor. It's about a 9-minute video. And then I have about 20 videos that go step by step of buyer frequently asked questions that will be able to help answer any possible question you would need to know about the buying process. For how to search for a home, how much should I put for a down payment? You know, how do I find the right realtor or lender in the area? What's a home inspection? What's an appraisal? What is earnest money? There's so many things, okay? Check out those, but real quick, I'm gonna run through the process so you don't get stuck on this video all day. But let's start from the beginning, right? We start with the pre-approval process. During the pre-approval process, you get in contact with #1 loan officer in your area. If you're looking for one in Middle Georgia, I got you. There's some awesome people in the local area. What they're gonna do is they're gonna get with you and create a budget. You want a sit-down meeting and you wanna tell them, hey, this is my financial situation, these are my goals, this is what I want to accomplish, and this is how much money I want to spend per month. Have them write you out a few things, okay? Do not proceed if they aren't willing to give you an itemized checklist based off of every detail, based off of where you want to live. If they hit you and say, well, you don't have a house that you like yet, so let's wait. Okay, guess what? Where's my phone? Plugged in over there. Go on the interwebs, start looking for a home, and just be like, how much would it cost for this one? And have them print out an itemized list step by step so you can ensure that this house is a blessing and not a curse. Because if you overpay for a home that you can't afford, I know some of you guys are ballers and have all the cash in the world, but deep down, okay, financial freedom is being able to live and give like nobody else. So don't get bogged down with a mortgage payment when it's too much house. okay? Leverage that income, build the wealth, so then you don't have that stress. And if you're in a situation right now and this is your very first house and you're using the VA home loan for the first time, please get with a lender that you can trust that will give you all the data, all the numbers that you need to ensure that you're being safe and smart through the whole process and you know exactly how much you can afford. Because you could think, oh, my mortgage payment's gonna be $1,700 a month. What about the appraisal that you're gonna pay for? What about the inspection that you're gonna pay for? What about the potential closing costs? What happens when all of these things add together? And then all of a sudden you find out you're in a situation where you pay city and county taxes. That could be an extra $500+ a month that you weren't prepared for. Make sure when you find that lender in the very beginning within the area that you want to live in, that you can get a quote and figure out, am I getting too much house or is this gonna be a smart financial decision for my family and I? Step number 2 within this process, find a trusted real estate partner that can help you navigate the market. Because here's the deal, when you buy a house in the state of Georgia, the seller will actually pay the buyer's agent's commission 99% of the time. So essentially you're getting free representation. However, make sure you get in contact with a person that knows VA home loans inside and out, because I'm gonna have a separate series go over VA home loans here soon. Does the house qualify for the VA home loan? Because you could run into a situation where the home doesn't. You pay for an inspection out of pocket, you put your earnest money down, you wait a week, and all of a sudden you find out that house isn't qualified. You ask the seller to pay to make those repairs and updates for it to be. And guess what? You're out your insurance money because they say, hey, I don't have the money to make all these fixes. And now you have to start the journey all over again after you already made the emotional decision that you're about to buy the house of your dreams. Don't do it, okay? Get with somebody who knows what they're talking about so they can set you up on the path to success. And then at that point, let's say you find the house of your dreams. You need to make sure that you go into it and negotiate hard, okay? This is your time to shine. And if you have a great realtor, we're gonna go hard for you, okay? So when it comes down to it, negotiation is huge, okay? And let me tell you a little bit about something going on in the market. Builders, don't get mad at me. Please let me still sell your homes. What happens right now is builders' backs are against the wall. A lot of crazy stuff's going on in the news when it comes to interest rates and also the amount of money that banks are willing to lend these builders to finish projects. There are some homes that are halfway done and you see the whole neighborhood ran up, right? Half done, half done, half done, half done, half done, concrete slab, 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 slab. A situation that occurred for some builders is the banks actually didn't give them the money necessary for them to finish the project. So there are some builders that need the money from the home that you're about to buy now so they can finish other projects. So you can actually leverage that right now. Ask for, let's say, $10,000 in closing costs so you can actually get into a new construction for $0 out of pocket, okay? Of course, there's the VA funding fee and other things like that, but with the VA funding fee, I thought I was gonna get this to later in the video, but I'll go over the VA funding fee real quick. If you're a 30% or more disabled veteran, you don't have to actually pay for that fee. It can go from, I think right off the top of my head, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm gonna put it on the screen, 1.4 to 3.6% depending on how many times you've used your VA home loan and then the price difference from, you know, all the eligibility stuff that you have left within your time frame. What that means is if you're 30% disabled and you're gonna buy a new construction in 2023, it's springtime, as of the recording of this video, you can actually leverage to have the builder pay all of your closing costs and get into a home that most likely is at fair appraisal value. If it's not, you're gonna find out because you're gonna pay for an appraisal during the process. And right off the bat, you just saved thousands and thousands of dollars that you can keep in your bank account. So that's the thing with the offer. Of course, with new construction in the area currently, you can ask at asking price. Offer at asking price. Dang, it's just been one of those days, guys. One of those days. You offer at that because that's most likely what's going to appraise at. Now have your real estate agent pull comparables, comparable market analysis to make sure that that is exactly the price where it should be. Ask for more in closing costs, and also you can play around with the closing date a little bit. Different negotiations. Again, if you're in this situation, just shoot me a text. I'll give you everything that I need to know. I got to keep rolling. I don't want to keep you too long on this. But let's say it's not a new construction. You want to negotiate and everything like that. If it is a VA qualified home and there's certain things going on in the marketplace, depending on where you currently live and how fair the house is priced, there's different tactics that you need to sit down with your real estate agent to make sure that you're gonna get the best deal you possibly can. Have that sit down meeting, ask the deep, detailed questions on how to buy a home using a realtor. I go into step by step and the questions you need to ask your real estate agent during this process. You interviewed them, they're the employee, you're the employer. Make sure you ask good questions. But let's get into the appraisal and inspection here real quick. What's gonna happen, okay? If it is a pre-owned home, the day you go into contract, you need to get a home inspection done right away because you're gonna be in what's called the due diligence period. In the state of Georgia, you usually have somewhere between 5 to 10 days, depending on the contract, to back out if something goes wrong. This is when you get a home inspection done. Me personally, I love Terry Frank's home inspections. He is amazing. He built homes for over 30 years and his system is so easy to use. There are other great home inspectors in the area. Win Home Inspection, absolutely amazing. I'll throw some links in the description, so if you're in the middle Georgia area and you wanna use the best there is, go hit them up. I love them. They don't pay me any money. They just did such great work when it comes to everybody that I help buy homes or help them buy homes. And even Terry did my own personal home. And we found like 46 defects on a new construction, a brand new house. 46 things that were wrong with it. He helped me out so much. But when it comes to a pre-owned home, they're gonna go over everything. You're gonna sit down on a Zoom call with your real estate agent. They're gonna go line by line, document by document to see what you want to repair, what you want replaced, or if you're okay with it, okay? Make sure you get on that Zoom call or have a face-to-face meeting and have it printed out so you have clear expectations on what's gonna go on. Now, if it is a new construction, you get that thing done, you have your agent take that packet to the builder and say, hey, everything on this list needs fixed. And on your final walkthrough, right, either for the pre-owned or the new home, you need to make sure that every single thing on this list was checked off the box. And let's say everything goes well, we're at the closing table and you're gonna sign papers on your brand new home and you had an amazing experience if you picked the right partners, of course, making sure that it was smooth and that you're comfortable and confident throughout the entire process. You're gonna go to the attorney's office, sign some documents, and go to your new house. But let's take a step back real quick. When it comes to closing costs, I know I've told you that you can offer a lot for the builder to pick up, but let's say you aren't. You're in a situation where the house is very well priced, it's a pre-owned home, and you can't ask for seller concessions. The nice thing is with the VA home loan, there's actually certain fees that you cannot be charged because it is a VA home loan. Check out the description below. I'm gonna show you a link to a website that's gonna go over that in depth. And real quick, let's talk about refinancing because in today's market, the average interest rate as of yesterday was 6.5% for a house. It's crazy. Just a couple years ago, you could get as low as 2-something%, right? So with it being 6.5% right now, what happens if interest rates go lower? What do? There's two things that you can do in this situation when it comes to refinancing. The IRRRL, interest rate refinance or interest rate reduction refinance loan. That thing, yeah. And the cash out refinance. There's a bunch of different things you can do when you refinance. The primary reason why people refinance is their interest rate was too high. They want their monthly payment lower. So that's option number one. Option number two, they want to leverage their home's equity. Maybe you want to take out part of that money to, home repairs. You want to upgrade the house. Maybe you want to buy that wife of yours a nice car. I don't know. You can do whatever you want. I wouldn't recommend that. I'd recommend working really, really hard, making a bunch of money, and then paying for the car in cash. But your house, your rules. This is America. You do what you want. But overall, that's what the VA home loan is. That's how you use it. If you have any questions about the process, please text me at 478-333-8318. Comment below anything that you need. I want to be here as a resource. I don't care what state that you're currently living in. I don't care if you're currently stationed in Italy, you're overseas somewhere. Just send me a text message. Comment below if you're on Wi-Fi, obviously, if you can't send a text message right now due to your location. And I promise I want to be able to help you. Even if you're not in my local market, I'll make sure that I get you in contact with the people that you need to make sure that you transition smoothly. Okay, so I've gone through the process. I was a U.S. Army Ranger. I know how it can be balancing life. Things get crazy. That's why I focus on what I know. I know real estate inside and out. So I want to be able to help you through the process so you can focus on your day-to-day and I can focus on getting you a great deal. I'll catch you in the next video.